Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another exciting round of Season 9 in CRL. As always, I am your host, CRL Spider 95. Tonight, I am by myself. My good friend AFL is off celebrating his birthday. Imagine having your birthday celebrations on a day where we need someone to comment. We wish him very many happy returns. However, we have got 19 lucky drivers all taken to one of the newest tracks of F1 2023, and that is Qatar. And what a circuit it is to drive around. It's such a fun circuit. It's a fast-paced circuit. However, it's been dubbed the penalty Grand Prix. That's because it can be quite easy to pick up 3-second penalties here and there if you are unfortunate enough. A low chance of safety car tonight. However, never say never. Now, we're going to jump aboard with Hargreaves as he gets us underway with the first of the cold laps. Well, we get all the telemetry up that everybody wishes to see. There we are. Right then, so what have we got going into round 4? Currently, there is a 30-point gap between our championship leader, which is Brabbitt, winning 2 races so far this season, and then it is in second place Hargreaves, who we are on board with at the moment. So, theoretically speaking, even if Hargreaves was to win tonight, he would need Brabbitt to crash out and not score any points or finish outside of the top 12 to be in the chance to be drawing for the championship yet again. It is going to be a long 29 laps ahead of us and 29 laps of pure racing. But, as I say, Hargreaves was leading us for our first one. It's in fact he's let his teammate Indian Jesus go by. The Aston Martins are on a dominant season this year. However, they are now trying to convert them dominance into wins. It's going to be a long one tonight for me, folks. Normally, like I said, I have Mr. AFL with me, but he is absent this week. So, if I do mess up for any reason, I do apologise. It's the first time going solo comms in a long time. Right then, Indian Jesus is getting us underway, which is going to be the first of our hot laps. Let's see what he can do. And our co-host, he's in the comment section. He's watching from his birthday celebrations. A big happy birthday to Mr. AFL. Right then, Indian Jesus is on a hot lap, the first one of the evening. What is he going to bring into the table? Well, it was a good race that we had around here on Monday. A lot of these boys have been looking forward to this track purely because it has been the new track on the calendar. One of 2, Las Vegas being the other of the new circuits, which isn't on the calendar this season for CRL. Maybe it'll make an appearance in CRL Season 10, if Season 10 is to be confirmed. More facts for that to come up later on. However, Mr. AFL did give me a fact to give to you all about this circuit. There's only been one winner here so far, and that is Sir Lewis Hamilton in the penultimate round of that dramatic 2021 season. Anyway, Indian Jesus is going to be the first to cross the line, and he is going to set a 1:21.6, a belter of a lap. His teammate Hargreaves is going to be the second to cross the line, who smashes that time by 0.04 of a second, and he goes a 1:21.2. Now then, let's see who's going to be next to cross the line. I believe it is going to be, it's hard to keep track now, it's Cole Paradox, who goes 1:22.6. Now McConey comes across the line with a 1:21.4. Lovely stuff. We've got a McLaren by the looks of it, which I believe is CRL 3-4. He had a podium last week in Australia. He'll be wanting to continue that winning streak now, and hopefully it is the return of winning form for him. Right, War Daddy has also crossed the line. He's gone provisional P6 with 1:21.7. Who else? DC has now crossed the line with 1:21.9. Lock Jack has also crossed the line with a 1:21.5. I believe it's a Ferrari that's going to cross the line next. And it is the return of Wee Cammy. He's not raced in a year. Has he managed to get rid of the rust? Is he going to set a good time? He's going to go 9th with a 1:22.8. Not a bad lap at all, considering he's been away from the sport now for just over a year. Next across the line, I believe, is going to be CRL Strauss. Here he comes, speeding down towards the finish line. What's it going to be? He's going to go provisional P2, and he'll be happy with that as we bring the next of our, I believe it's Sieb, it is Sieb. Sieb goes P7 with a 121.6. Beautiful, beautiful time there from the Mercedes, showing everyone how it's done. We've had a bit of a spin, however, in Sector 3. I believe that is not for Mick. I believe it may be actually for Freefall. It is. Freefall's gone for a bit of a spin and he's lost his wing. He won't be too happy about that. I believe the Red Bull is coming across the line of, it's not Staban, he's gone into the pits, which is Clark. So, quite a few people coming into the pits now. We've got a Haas, which is KXI. What's it going to be for KXI? He's going to be the next one across the line. He is going to go provisional P3 over 121.4. Beautiful time. Beautiful, beautiful time. The Red Bull has slowed down in Sector 3, which will be for Staban. I believe the next one to cross the line is going to possibly be... Nope, he's coming to pits. So it's going to be... Who's it going to be? It's not going to be Panda. It will be Strauss, I believe, next. But I believe he's going to be on an in-lap, which he is. So we do have a AlphaTauri on track. So we're going to jump on board with the other AlphaTauri, which is going to be IRT Crack, who's going to be keeping us going for the next lap and a half. Obviously, he's currently on an outlap, so let's see what he can bring to the table. So we're just going to have a quick look at the constructor updates. So we've had a bit of a chat about the World Drivers' Championship. Currently, as it stands, going into round 3, so not counting tiers 4 or 5 from Monday night, Ferrari currently lead the World Championship with 314 points. Then it's Alfa Romeo with 287. Haas then brings up the rear in third with 277. McLaren with 229. Aston Martin 225. Mercedes 208. Williams 195, which is equal with Red Bull. AlphaTauri is in 9th with 160, and Alpine is bringing up the rear for the wooden spoon with 135 points. Hopefully AlphaTauri can score big tonight and turn it around. But we are on board currently with IRT Crack, who is the only driver on a hot lap at the moment, who has just gone fastest in Sector 1. So he'll be looking to try to turn the tables for us AlphaTauri lads. Come on, up the Tory. But I'm not being biased in any way. I may race for them for this league, but I'm not being biased. Come on, I'll do what I can do to help you get some more points, Crack. But he's taking it well. Can he go fastest in Sector 2? He does not. But not to worry, not to worry. Let's see what he can bring in the final sector of the track. He's burnt through his ERS quite well. He's keeping it within the line, so he's not infringed at any point. He's coming round into the last corner, 16 corners around Qatar. It's a very, very bendy and twisty circuit, but you can lift and coast quite a lot around here. All his deploys used as he heads down towards the final straight. It's going to be P9. You'll be happy with that, but still a while to go. Still 10 minutes left of the session to do. Right, we've got a yellow flag in sector 1. I'm going to assume that's for one of the cars that is just coming out. We're going to jump on board with IRT Mick, who is the other McLaren who is yet to set a time. Now, the question is he going to have got caught up in any of the traffic? I certainly hope not. Nothing worse than getting caught behind your fellow racers and it infringes your lap. But that is why we have the stewards who are there to sort out any misgoings. So if you feel as if you have been hard done by, head on over to the stewards room after the session. That is to all 19 of our drivers. KXI is looking very, very quick, but he's currently sat on the second row. Hopefully we can see a bit of improvement from him. Very, very lucky Mick kept it inside the lines there. And he is going to go P12, just above his teammate Freefall, who's currently P13. He will be looking to improve on that. He's still got plenty of time left in the session to go. Panda was on a hot lap, but he is yet to stay within track limits. So we're going to go find somebody else to go on board with, which I believe is possibly the Red Bull of Clarp. Both Red Bulls still yet to set a time. You've got his teammate Staban, who's currently on a outlap at the moment, but Clarp is looking to put the Red Bulls off to a good start in today's session. Like I said, I do apologise if I'm not my normal self. My throat is a little bit sore this evening and it is just me on comms. But I'm going to do as best as I can to keep it going for you guys. I won't shy away from a challenge as we come round the last corner. Very, very close. Indian Jesus has just gone provisional pole. We wasn't on board with him with 1 minute 20.9. Can Clark do anything about that? He goes P13, so no, he cannot. Right then, let's go find somebody else to jump on board with. I want to give some love to the guys that haven't set a time yet. That's why when he wasn't on board with Indian Jesus. He's the first of the drivers, though, to break that 1 minute 21 mark. Brabbit, our championship leader, looking to make his mark on today's session. What can he bring to the table? Rocking the Sebastian Vettel number 5 on the Ferrari. That brings back memories, keeping it just within them track limits. That last corner, you can caught out on so very, very easily. It caught me out quite a bit on Monday. And Brabbit goes provisional P2. Oh, just above his championship rival, Hargreaves. Hargreaves is going to be one to look at maybe doing something about that. Now, who are we on board with? It's Jack. Can he improve from P7? No, he does not. So, who is going to be next to cross the line? It's going to possibly have been... No, it wasn't 4 stars. So, KXI's crossed the line just quite recently. He's now on his hot lap. Let's go and have a look. Let's go find someone to have a play with, shall we? Who should we show some love to? We have got an Aston Martin coming in the pits. We've got another Red Bull coming round. We're going to go jump on board with the Red Bull. No, he's gone into the pits. So I was going to give you some love, Mr. Red Bull. We'll jump on board with Wee Cammy again. So as I was explaining, Wee Cammy is a reserve for today's session. He hasn't been playing F1 for nearly a year. He asked me if I could give him some love. Well, I'm going to give you some love, Wee Cammy. And we're going to jump on board with you for a little bit. Let's see if you can beat that 1 minute 22 you've currently set. Come on, he's got to have done it. And I don't think he has, you know. I think he stayed in P17. We have Steve, who's just gone provisional P2, and we've got a yellow flag somewhere on the track that would seem to have been resolved. Steve will be quite happy with that. Right then, who should we go and find now? We've got another Mercedes about to cross the line. That is not Jack. Nope, he's come into pits, and we've got a yellow flag in sector 3 of Cold Paradox, who believes he must have gone for a little bit of a spin. We'll jump on board with DC, the other AlphaTauri in today's session. He's also coming into pit. Why are you all coming into pits when I give you some love? KXI takes back P2, proving on his time once again. A bit of a yellow flag again building up inside that sector. It must have been 4-star, who must have gone for a bit of a spin. He has invalidated, so he won't be improving this lap. Right then, we've got another Ferrari, which I believe is Wee Cammy, but he's going to be on a in-lap. So, let's go and find someone else. Panda has invalidated, so he's holding his own. He's building up that ERS. I think we should jump on board with Panda for a bit. Luckily, with him being on his outlap, that invalidation wouldn't have mattered too much. Right then. So, Panda, one of the 2 drivers who is yet to set a time. We've got him and Staban, and then all 19 of our drivers have set a time for today's race. Right, and we still got a yellow flag in Sector 3. For those that are wondering, it is for a Haas, and it's either for 4-star or KXI. But let's see what Panda can bring to the table. Big thank you to everyone that is watching as always. Cone Racing League always loves to see our boys be supported. Big thank you to everyone watching. Like I said, it's my first time doing solo comms, so it is going to be interesting. I will promise to try and keep you up to date with all the racing action. And hopefully I can be just as well solos as I am with my friend AFL. Right then, so I disappeared there into a nice little fantasy world. But we are now back with Panda, who's doing really, really well. Not really setting any purple sectors, so he's possibly looking at maybe a mid-table time. But then again, I'm hoping he's going to prove me wrong and go quite high. Because it is a lovely circuit to race around. Those that have it, he's just proved me wrong straight away. He's just gone fast as sector 2. So, come on, Panda. Hello, Mr. Harry Palmer. But yeah, it is a lovely circuit to go racing around. Here we go as we go into the last corner. What can Panda bring? He doesn't invalidate, so it's a mad dash to the finish. Panda is gonna go P7. What a time! And here comes his teammate Strauss. What's he gonna do? He's gonna go provisional P2. A lovely result there for Alpine, considering that I said they were in last place a moment ago when it comes to the constructors. Right then, let's go and find someone to love. Oh, well, Crack decided to go into the pits. Who's going to be next? I think we've got maybe a Williams. I think that is. He's coming into pit as well, so it's going to be a Red Bull. You know what? Let's jump on board with Staban for a little bit. Just 3 minutes left of the session. It's been a good quality to be so far. Everyone's setting decent laps. But then again, this is only qualifying. The main race is just moments away question is, all eyes are on Brabbitt and Hargreaves at the minute as our championship leaders. All it takes is for Brabbitt to have one bad race and Hargreaves is being brought back in it. Esteban is finally going to set a lap and he is going to go. No, he's not. He's on a. That was out lap, and I've just said that all on stream. Oh well. There's Rob's first mistake of the day. He thought someone was on a hot lap when he was on an out lap. Dear, you can forgive me. Anyway, the Red Bull is now on his hot lap. We are going to stick on board with him for a while. We're going to show Esteban some love. We do have our Tier 2 boys and our Tier 1 boys kicking off later on this evening. Tier 1 normally gets going by the time we're wrapping up, and obviously Tier 2 gets going just as we're a little bit into the main race when it comes to Tier 3. But Tier 3, the banter tier, as it's been dubbed by our drivers, and what a tier it is. It is always good fun to commentate on these drivers. A bit of a mix and match when it comes to, but they all give it their all, and it's always fun to race. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 1, and that is, I believe, for one of the Alpines. We're going to have a look at that in a minute, but we are going to give Esteban his love as he comes around the corner. And Panda, as I said, one of the Alpines, and that possibly could have been maybe a retirement on track. But Esteban goes provisional P12. Well, I'm very well, Indigo. We're going solo comms tonight, so wish me all the best. Right then, so Not Jack is on his final hot lap as we've got another yellow flag in Sector 2. Let's see if we can go and find out what has happened. And I believe that is for Crack. He's slowing down to let people pass. There goes the McLaren, I believe, of 3-4. Right then, so 55 seconds left in this session. Clark is going to look to improve on his time. What can he bring? He's currently P18. He's going to go P13. Technically, he can have one more crack at that shot of getting another lap across the line, but I don't think it's going to happen personally. So I believe 3-4 is just, yep, he's pulling out the way. He's probably done for the session. Everyone's going to start crossing the line now, thick and fast. There we go. Look, he's keeping out the way. He's being a good egg. We love good eggs. Right then, we've got another Alpine. Where's the other Alpine? It's Strauss. He's coming into pit. Oh, Coney's coming round. Everyone's coming round now. Here comes Brabbitt. Like I said, our championship leader. He is on his final hot lap. He's going to be attempting to steal the fastest lap as we've got Not Jack coming round. So here we go. Not Jack, can he get provisional pole? Not Jack goes 6. Now we've got an AlphaTauri crossing the line, which is DC. DC's going to attempt to do something here. What can he do? He goes P9. He won't improve, so that'll be his qualifying done. Now we've got the Haas of, not 4-star, it's KXI. KXI is going to come across the line. Can he steal that provisional pole? And yes, he does. Puts it on provisional pole, 1 minute 20.9. Corker of a lap. And we've got the other Aston Martin now of Hargreaves, the championship rival. No, it's not Hargreaves, it's the other one. It is Indian Jesus. No improvement, so he'll be calling it a day there. Right, now it's the other Aston Martin of Hargreaves. Here he comes. What can he do? He improves and goes provisional pole for 1 minute 20.9. Now we've got the other AlphaTauri of Crack. He's gone P9. Here comes the other McLaren. No improvement there from him. Now we've got somebody else that's crossed the line, and I missed that one completely. Mercedes is Sieb. He's P6. Now we've got a Williams, and that's going to be probably Cole Paradox. He goes up to P12. Not much of an improvement, but there's still an improvement nonetheless. Now we've got a Ferrari coming across the line. That will be Brabbitt. What can he do? He goes P5. Coney's retired, and we've just got CRL 34, who I believe can't improve. No, he's on a 2-minute lap. So that is going to be our grid. It's going to be Hargreaves in pole with KXI in second, Indian Jesus in third, Strauss in fourth, Brabbitt fifth, McConey sixth, Sieb seventh, Jack 8th, Crack 9th, DC 10, Panda in 11th, and Cole Paradox to wrap off our point starters. Then down the bottom half of the grid is 4-star War Daddy, Esteban, Clark, Mick, 3-4, and the return of Wee Cammy. Interesting times set from all our drivers, but that was only qualifying. The main event is yet to come. So if you want to see how all these boys do, make sure you stick around. Oh, it was a great quali. Scott giving it a little bit of a wiggle there for us. Things we like to see. But yeah, what a quali from these boys. It was absolutely fantastic. Question is though, Hargreaves is on pole. Can he convert it to a win? Well, he's in the prime position where he wants to be. Like I said, he is 30 points behind his championship rival Brabbitt, who's currently leading the World Championship. Now, if Brabbitt doesn't finish in the points today, Hargreaves will be equal on points. Well, then again, Hargreaves can, in theory, take control of the championship. He has to have the perfect day. So he's gone pole. Now he needs to get the fastest lap and the win. And if he can get that, and Brabbitt finishes outside the points, Hargreaves will take the lead of the World Championship. I personally can't wait to see what's going to unroll here. I know you can't wait to see what's going to unroll here. The boys are looking quick. So let's get into the main race and see what's going to go on. 29 laps await us. Formation lap, I believe, is turned back off due to glitches still within the game. Now, the boys are doing their setups now. Stop the count now. No. The numbers mean everything, Hargreaves. I'm sorry. But the boys are now just currently doing their strategy for today's race. Now, personally, if anyone wants to take my opinion, and not many people do, I found the hard to soft approach to be the best approach with all the practice that I did. However, safety cars can change this. It could be a few bumps and surprises yet to see us. Now, while the likelihood of rain is extremely low, it is never off the cards. But we are in the middle of a desert, so if we suddenly get some rain, then I want to know who's been doing a rain dance in the paddocks. I'm looking at you,
Aston
Panda.
Martin boys first and third. Things you love to see: flexed biceps.
Things we do like to see. We do like to see Aston Martin doing well. As an ex-Aston Martin driver for this league, I have got a bit of a soft spot for them. But we are just moments away from the very first, well, not the very first, we had two on Monday, but the very first Tier 3 CRL Qatar Grand Prix, and we are now into lights out. It is 5 lights out, and it's going to be a long one. It's 5 lights out, and away we go, and it's a great start for Hargreaves. Let's get everything on that people want to see. Tyres, telemetry, everything. We need everything on. And Hargreaves gets out. We've got a yellow flag in sector 1. It is a Red Bull. Steban's dropped places. There's bumps, there's sparks, there's a bit of everything. There's good battling no matter where you decide to look. Apart from at the very back where Steban has already lost plenty of places. Klerp is up to 14th, but Hargreaves got away nice and clean, and he is now in first with a second ahead. And Steve picks up first 3-second penalty of the evening. Nice little gap there between Hargreaves and KXI. KXI's got a bit of a gap to build up. Oh, I can see a little bit of a battle moving on already. And what a battle we've got. Look at this. Good, decent camera angle there where you just get all the cars coming by and they're all battling each other. So we're on board with IRT Crack where the battling seems to be going on at the moment. There's just so much action. Look, I've got to keep up with this all evening. Somebody send some help. But I'll try my absolute hardest. Right, Brabbitt is now up to 4th. Let's go and look at the position changes, shall we? Alright, so penalties, position changes, here we go. So as we approach the end of lap 1, Hargreaves is going to set us off with the first fastest lap of the evening with a 1:29.5. That's your benchmark, boys. Now go get them. Hargreaves and KXI and Indian Jesus are currently in the same positions they are. Brabbitt is up 1, Sieb is up 2, and Cracker's up 3. The biggest losers so far is technically Strauss and Steban, who have all dropped 4 places. Battles everywhere you look, but we have got a long 29 laps ahead of us, so don't you go anywhere anytime soon. So Hargreaves is doing a Max Verstappen and driving off into the distance. It's things you don't want to see because we get enough of that in real life F1. We don't really want to see it in virtual F1, but it's good to see that the Aston Martin boy has actually got out of there. Brabbitt is now battling to try and get back at his championship rival. He's sticking quite closely behind Indian Jesus. Panda and 4-Star are having a little bit of the battle in the mid-pack as we just catch War Daddy go for the overtake on 4-Star. What an overtake we've got there. And we have got a yellow flag in Sector 2. Who's gone? We've had a bit of a bump, but it doesn't seem to be anything too major. We've gone 3 wide as we go into the corner, and what a battle this is between Indian Jesus, DC and Cole Paradox. Let's stick on board as Indian Jesus goes wide from the Aston Martin. The Aston Martin, who was provision P3, has now dropped all the way down to P13. What is going on for Aston Martin as we now come down into the last corner again, where Hargreaves is now nearly 2 seconds in front of KXI. Good little battling going on. McLaren's going for a move of CRL III. What can he bring to the table as he's going? Hargreaves improves for 1 minute 20. It's carnage everywhere you absolutely look. Oh. And breathe, Rob, breathe. Cole Paradox and Indian Jesus battling it out again. Nicely clean, but Cole Paradox goes a bit wide there for my liking. But it's interesting battling going on there as Cole Paradox is trying to keep that position away from Indian Jesus. But Indian Jesus says, no, I'm taking back P13 and gets around quite nicely. We've got a battle going on somewhere else. McConey looks to be potentially going for a move on Crack any moment. Let's see how this is going on. It's quite close down from P5 down to about P9. Nice little battle we've got going on here. DRS is obviously now enabled with it being lap 3. There is only one DRS zone on this entire track, and that is the start-finish straight. So, no real DRS assistance throughout the remainder of the track, but you can get some nice overtaking done there. McConey is desperately trying to catch up, but it just appears that the AlphaTauri that's battling the Mercedes has just crawled away. So we're going to jump on board quickly with Crack and see if he can get past Sieb. Remember, Sieb does have a 3-second penalty, so technically speaking as it stands, Crack is in front of Sieb, so maybe you don't need to go for the risky moves, maybe just hold out and see what's going on. Interesting mix of tyres. Half the grid has gone for hards and half the grid has gone for mediums. It is a very, no one has gone for the softs, which I'm not surprised with, because the softs do get butchered around this track quite quickly, but maybe, just maybe, the hard boys are going to be going for a hard to soft approach. Medium, maybe medium to hard. It's going to be a very, very interesting Qatar Grand Prix. Right then, let's jump a bit further down the grid and see if we can find a little bit of a battle going on. So there's 4-Star, who's got DC and Indian Jesus, where the battle for them two seem to still be going on. Indian Jesus, I believe, has lost quite a few places. Let's double check that, shall we? Position change, yeah, Indian Jesus is now down 10 places. The 4th from Grace. Aston Martin, originally 1-3 in this Grand Prix, now currently sit 1-13. So, one Aston Martin in the points, one Aston Martin outside of the points. But we are still early days. We are only on lap 4, 29 laps overall. So, let's go and find a bit of a battle elsewhere, because these boys have just settled in nicely. I believe the battle for P4, P5 is heating up as Sieb and Crack are both looking to potentially go for the move on Brabbitt. I love saying that. Brabbitt sounds great. Why didn't I think of that? I came up with Spider Rob. Your friendly neighbourhood Spider Rob, to be precise. Obviously now I'm dubbed CRL Spider. However, it has been very, very clean so far. No major bumps really to report on, apart from the Aston Martin plummeting. Good racing no matter where you like to look, and that is what we like to see. The boys keeping it clean and going well. Right then, so we're going to just move it up a bit. He says as he moved it down, we're going to jump on board with the battle for P2 between KXI and Brabbitt. So Hargreaves has gone into the distance. He's currently now on a 3-second lead. Brabbitt will be looking to go for the lunge on KXI. His early convenience. Crack has gotten around McConey. Crack is now up to P5. But can Brabbitt get the move done here on KXI? Steve picks up another 3-second penalty. That is 6 seconds worth of penalties for the Mercedes. He will not be happy about that. No, sir. No, he will not. Right then. So, it's a good little battle warming up there for P2. So let's have a look on board with Steve. He's gone wide there as well. So that'll be another That'll be another warning there from the in-game stewards. Nice little battle building up behind them. Look at this, a lovely little DRS train we are going to get on board with here. So let's jump on board to the front of this train and jump back on board with KXI, who's got Brabbit hunting him down, Seeb hunting him down. Everyone's there trying to hunt him down. Can Brabbit get the move done down into turn 1? Well, we've got McConey trying to get past Crack in the background there. Brabbit couldn't catch up, but he's keeping up with KXI. That's what we like to see. Lovely, lovely DRS train all the way down to P10. So from 2 to 10, we've got a train as Rabbit there, trying to peek round and maybe get a move done there, but looks like he just exceeded track limits just that little bit too much. Let's jump on board. Weekami picks up a penalty as well. This is his first 3-second penalty in nearly a year. Weekami, not the return he would have been looking for, but I'm pretty sure he'll get back into things very, very, very soon. Right then, let's take a look further down the grid, shall we? So while the DRS train from P2 to P10 is underway, we've got the second train being built up quite nicely, slowly, being led by Rio DC in the AlphaTauri. He's got 4-star for company. Not a big train, but they're all being kept there. The McLaren boys of Freefall and Mick, they're coming up at the rear. They're keeping it quite nice. They're looking to maybe get the move done on Clark very, very soon. Well, Freefall will be anyway, but all the hard runners will be going for the long game. So long as there's no safety cars, the hard runners potentially could have tried the right strategy. That is what it will come down to if there is any safety cars. We have got Staban, who's gone for a bit of a spin, so there's a yellow flag in sector 3. I don't know what happened there, but I just caught it there. Hopefully he's not got any damage. He's not coming into pit, so it could have potentially have just been a spin. Hargreaves is now 4 seconds out in front. There's his moment in the sun as we go back down to KXI, who's still leading that train. Choo-chin. Great little battle there. Ooh, was that a slight bump I saw there between Seeb and Brabbit? Is the battle getting intense? Let me know in the comments below. But it's going to be Seeb looking to go for that move on Brabbit. Brabbit potentially may not be fighting it off too much, considering that you can see that his opponent does have penalties against his name. Like I said, it's a nice little DRS train going from P2 all the way down to about P10. 7 laps in, and we've had hard racing so far. I guess getting enticed with this racing here. It's being kept very clean at the moment. Seeb doesn't really want to be picking up any more penalties. The penalties he's already got, he can't get rid of until post-race anyway, so he'll have to serve them 6 seconds at the end of the race. Rabbit and Seeb both go wide there, so like I said, it's a very, very easy track if you've not had much practice on to exceed track limits, especially on the final corner. You take that wrong and the game does punish you quite hard for it, as here comes we've got Seeb going for a move on Brabbit. We are lovely. It's potentially could be 4 wide going into the first turn. Seeb does get round Brabbit, but Crack's also getting round Brabbit, but Brabbit fights it back. Good battling there from the German. Lovely, lovely racing there. Lovely, simply lovely. Let's go find some more battles, shall we? There's battles everywhere you look. War Daddy is potentially coming into the frame of the Williams there. He's trying to get on the other Mercedes and watch out by going around the outside. However, it's very easy to lose the back end of the car in that corner there. I think I lost the back end when I was doing a bit of practice there quite regularly. Then when it came to the main race, for some reason, I think I only lost it twice in that corner. But it's very easy to get the car back under control in that car there. Anyway. Oh, we've had a bit of a bump. Oh, what's going on? We've got a yellow flag in sector 2. What's happened there? As Indian Jesus falls down even further to P17 now. He's gone from P3 to P17. What's going on for the Aston Martin driver? No retirements yet. 8 laps in. Staban picks up a 3-second time penalty. So 3 drivers with penalties at the CRC the 3-second Grand Prix. The penalty Grand Prix, and there's another one. War Daddy picks up one as we've got a yellow flag. It's a Mercedes, and Not Jack is out of the Grand Prix, and it's the first safety car of the evening. I've cursed it by saying there was no safety cars. Now then, what do the medium runners do? What do the hard runners do? Oh. Well, Weekami is coming in to pit. No doubt is going to be for a set of, I was going to say for a set of hards, but he's gone for a set of mediums. Is he banking on a late game safety car? Medium, soft? I'd have gone medium hard there personally, lad. Hards would have saw you through to the end of the race. The hards can last about 22 laps around this circuit. Alright, well, Hargreaves is going to be gutted about this. He's led the majority of the Grand Prix with no real battle, and he's now going to have to make the decision of, do I decide to pit for mediums, or do I stay out on these hards for a bit longer and try and get a lead again? But what it does mean is that Brabbitt will potentially be breathing a sigh of relief. He'll be going, phew, that means he can catch back up to his rival and potentially try and get past. But they're both on the same tyre compound, so potentially could be both on the same strat. It's going to be strategy core, which is what it comes down to. And obviously setups as well, but anyone knows that. Right then, so while we are taking a look at that, let's go take a look at a couple of things. So penalty-wise, Steve has got 6 seconds worth of penalties, War Daddy has got 3, so has Esteban, and Cammy. Everybody else has had a relatively clean race. Bit of battling, it looks like going on there between the Ferrari and the AlphaTauri on this safety car. I don't think that was intentional. I think they were just giving each other a bit of a cuddle as in come the pit runners. Ooh. The brakes quite hard there. Majority of the drivers are all coming in, so Cammy could potentially be rubbing his hands here a little bit. It's going to allow him to catch up, but I don't think it's going to be anything. What? What? I am seeing this, right? I'm not the only person to be... I'm not hallucinating, am I? I'm not... Seeb has come in and gone to Inters.
Well, that's an interesting
in the desert. A place where there's no water. He's gone for Inters. I mean, fair play.
Didn't intend to use.
No, I can't imagine he has, Toby, but it's just one of those you've got to look at it and go, what? Oh, moment of the race so far. See pit sprinters in the desert. Love it. Love every moment of it. So let's take a look to see if anyone didn't decide to come in to pit. Our top runners, Strauss, DC, Cold Paradox and Freefall, have all decided to stay out on their original compounds. And to be fair to them, they are on hard. So long as they've looked after them, they could get a few more laps out of them. So they may potentially even... Well, I think the hard to soft is the way to go, so long as you look after...
I am stupid award.
I wouldn't go that far, but it could definitely be moment of the season so far. Oh dear.
Long way to go for Gargraves if it stays green now. Unless it rains eyes.
I mean, it is a very long way to go for Hargreaves, but it is also, not, like I said earlier, I know we're in the middle of the desert, but let's face it, never say never.
Unless there's another safety car.
There could be another safety car. I'm not gonna lie. There could be another safety car. So we've got some more people into pit now. Seeb has come back into pit. That confirms that he definitely didn't intend to.
He's back in. Was almost timed perfectly for those medium runners.
It is almost timed perfectly for the medium runners. So the medium runners going on to hards, which is obviously the obvious choice, has been timed perfectly well. So all going well. The cars all should be bunched back up together, and safety car hopefully and should be in this lap. So we are just waiting for that confirmation that the safety car will be in this lap. So, who is left to come in? That is the question. still just the top 4 that are yet to come in. Well, interesting choice. Interesting choice. It is a bold mood for Hargreaves to go on to the mediums early. But is he wise or is he stupid? Well, we've got about 18 laps to find out. But as it stands, Strauss is leading this Grand Prix. But provisionally speaking, it is Hargreaves. A safety car confirmed to be in this lap, as it's going to get us going underway for racing on lap 12. A big shout out to anyone who does comms solo. This is so much harder not having someone to bounce off of. I miss you, AFL man. I miss you so much. But rest assured, we will be back on your screens together next week. Let's go and take. Oh well, we'll take a look where we're going next week. Very, very shortly, if there is another safety car. As we get underway, I thought I was going to have a bit more time. It's a slow start, creep up to the start straight as Strauss looks to catch his opponent sleeping, who's underway. Here we go as we get under racing as green flag conditions go, as we now have a mad dash to turn 1. Overtaking everywhere you look. Indian Jesus overtakes Mick. Hargreaves overtakes Freefall. And it's clean going into turn 1. Indian Jesus has retaken P12 again. So the return of Jesus as he makes his way back up the grid. Where have we heard that story before? And it's a good relaunch there from Strauss. Cold Paradox now retakes P2. There's a bump between him and DC. Doesn't look to be any sort of major damage. I can't see any wings flying. Freefall finds the brakes as Freefall goes for a spin. What's happened to Freefall? He's now plummeted, and there's wings. Now there's wings in Sector 2. The McLaren's had a bit of a bump. I don't think he's lost any wing. I'm trying to work out who's lost their wing. Let's slowly make our way up the grid and see who's missing parts of their car. Well, it's not Staban. Well, it's not Panda, I should say. Is it Staban? There's a bit of a bump there again between Panda and somebody else. Steve's now plummeted as well. I've got a feeling it could be the Mercedes. What is going on at the back of the grid? That was a bit mad. So we didn't have a bad relaunch. It was mid-track where things seem to have heated up a little bit, as Hargreaves, in all of that commotion, has snuck past everyone, and he is now hunting down Strauss for P1. And they have to say, he hunts down Strauss, he gets Strauss, and now takes lead of the Grand Prix once again. It's beautifully done, a beautiful overtake, and now Strauss has to redo all that hard work. So all the boys that have come in onto new hards, they're going to be lapping. Seed picks up another 3-second time penalty. That's his third one of the evening. Brabbit has also copied his championship contender Hargreaves. They're both on new mediums, so they're both up. It looks like, I think what one does, the other is going to copy, just to purely keep things nice and spicy. Right, let's take a look a bit further down the mid-pack. McConey is doing a little bit of a battle there, trying to catch up on War Daddy. War Daddy does currently have a time-second penalty against his name. Pretty calm and collected. By the looks of it, no driver really decided. Oh yeah, we know we did have one driver, so Clark decided to come in. He's gone on to a fresh set of mediums, so I can only assume it was him who lost his wings in all of that. And Hargreaves is already 2.5 seconds in front of Strauss, who is now fighting back Cold Paradox. So that will be DRS will be re-enabled this lap. Obviously, we've got to wait 2 laps after the safety car for DRS to be re-enabled. Hargreaves sets a new fastest lap with 1:24. So, like I said, Hargreaves looking to do the perfect day. Pole position, fastest lap, and a win. We'll see him above Brabbit in the standings. But then again, Brabbit is currently P5. So while Hargreaves is going for the perfect day, Brabbit will still be our championship leader so long as he finishes in the points. Wee Cammy is going for a bit of a tumble. Don't know what's going on there. Maybe a bit of a bump, but he plummeted a little bit there. So the band's dropping to P14. Nicely bunched up is the mid-pack. 4-star makes the move and goes back up to P11. Good overtaking from him there as they come into technically a small F section, but it's not really an F section. As that could have been nasty. Kami gets past 4-stars. We now have a bit of a battle. Let's jump on board with here as we stay in the battle. 4-star trying to get in front. A bit of a contact, but slight wheel bump there. Kami's losing out. He loses 2 positions there as Panda sees his opportunity and retakes P12, knocking Kami back out of the points. 3-second penalty for CRL 3-4. War Daddy is up to P9 as it stands. Lovely overtake there as we got a bit of a DRS train from Indian Jesus all the way down. McConey using that DRS to get past Indian Jesus. I think Crack's looking to go for an opportunity on the inside. Here we go, and he does. He gets past. Brilliant move there from Crack. Indian Jesus losing 2 positions in the space of a couple of seconds. War Daddy now up to P9, getting past Real DC as well. Well, it's that time of day joke, so I make my annual red button joke. If you do press your red button, it will do absolutely nothing. But the Tier 2 boys are underway in their qualifying session. And the Tier 1 boys is coming up later on this evening. They're just making their lobby now. So, 3 races on a Thursday. What more could you possibly want? War Daddy takes P8 and Panda goes up to P11. Ooh. Red button there. We love a red button. We got a yellow flag in sector 2, and it is for Indian Jesus. His night's going from bad to worse, who's now lost part of his wing. He's gone from P3 down to P17. It's heartbreaking. I'm not going to lie. As we've got a yellow flag, and I believe that's Mick that's also numbered a bit of bump. Mick has lost his entire front wing. The McLaren boy's not going to be happy about that. His teammate is in front of him. We've got the Mercedes of Seed coming. No, it's DC which is coming into pit. Mick's into pit, and Indian Jesus also into pit. KXI and all that commotion has moved up to P2, and his teammate 4-star makes the move on the outside around Panda into P9. Brabbit retakes P4 with a battle for Strauss here. There's action no matter where you look. We've got a nice little mid-pack battle here. Let's definitely stay on board with these. I say mid-pack battle, I'm talking front runners. Brabbit's looking to make that move on Cold Paradox. McConey retakes P5 there nicely on the inside. Beautifully done. Hello to all the new watchers that are watching. You've joined at the right time. We're about halfway through our first ever Tier 3 Qatar Grand Prix with me as the lead comms. Solo lead comms this evening as Mr. AFL is off celebrating his birthday. Seed getting another time-second penalty there. It's another 3 seconds to add. How many has he got now? I'll soon tell you in lighting. Seed has 12 seconds. Kami has 6, and everybody else that has a penalty has 3. Still a couple of boys left to pit at the moment. So, a lot of action. What's Cold Paradox going to come on for? I'm quite interested. It is yellow tyres. Sorry, I had to breathe there. Right then, the battle for P7 is still warming up as Panda goes for the overtake on 4-star and gets it done beautifully. 3-star back up to P11 now. And let's take a look at how our front runners are doing. 7-second gap between our championship, well, our championship hopeful and the next car. KXI and Brabbit going for a bit of a battle as the Coney will be looking to do the battle against Brabbit. Has those hard tyres got into I forgot what I was going to say then. Got tongue-tied. It's so hard being solo comms. Right then, let's go and see where we can find some battling too, because there's battles no matter where you look. And let's give some love to Mr. 3-4, who's looking to hunt down Kami. Indian Jesus picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple infringements, as you've got Sieb, the last of our point runners, currently trying to hunt down CRL 34 and just get that little bit higher. Cool. 3-4 is coming in for a pit. I can only assume this is going to be for a set of yellow walls, and it is. Now, hopefully, if there is no more safety cars, that should be the last race of, well, last pit for him of the day.
Sieb driving like NASCAR track limits.
Sieb's not had a clean race, has to be said. Right then, he's all alone at the moment, so hopefully he won't be pushing too hard, but he'll be looking to catch up to the pack. Let's go and see if we can find a bit of a battle warming up. There seems to be one between Brabbit and McConey still. Brabbit up to P3 at the moment. McConey looking to try and get the move done any moment. Hopefully he can get the overtake done. And by the looks of it, he's creeping slowly and slowly and slowly towards him. Well, another 3-second penalty for Staban in the Red Bull. The Red Bull will not be looking forward to what's KXI's ERS? Let's take a look, shall we? KXI has currently got 55% of his ERS, but he's now got a DRS train behind him. He'll be looking to make the move. Can Brabbit get the move done down into turn 1? Let's stick on board and see if he can do it. The answer is no, and it has allowed McConey to try and potentially close the gap. Lovely battle there at the front pack. Now let's go and try and find some other drivers to show some love to this evening.
Well, considering he doesn't have the RS.
Yeah, holding the gap very, very well. But Crack is looking to try and get the move done on War Daddy. Let's see if we can see a little bit of battling going on there. Let's show some love to some other drivers. It's been great racing no matter where we've looked this season, to be fair. It's been, no matter where we look, there has been someone to watch. There's been someone to observe, and there's been battling, there's been bumps. I'll tell you what, I have loved every second of this race, and I love this track. It has slowly become a favourite of mine. Indian Jesus has pitted for softs, so I don't blame him at this point, to be fair. Can Crack get the potential move done on War Daddy anytime soon? Let's take a look. We're going to jump on board with the DRS train once again. Can Brabbit get past? He's trying to get closer to his championship rival. Sieb picks up another 3-second time penalty. You get a penalty and you get a penalty. Everyone gets a penalty as Brabbit makes it round at long last KXI and retakes P2, and McConey will be looking to do the same thing very, very shortly. It's now our two championship leaders, P1 and P2, in this Grand Prix. Whew. A bit of a battle going on then by the looks of it between Strauss and Cold Paradox. Let's see if Cold Paradox can attempt to return. Well, one way to find out. Let's stick on board and see what they can do. Not much, but we do have a yellow flag in Sector 1, and it's Indian Jesus who's gone for another spin. It literally has gone from bad to worse to awful for the Aston Martin driver. Starting P3 in this race, and he's currently in last position, technically. While meanwhile, his championship, well, I say his championship, I say his teammate Hargreaves is currently P1 in the race, so it's technically an Aston Martin sandwich. Strauss getting mass street as Sieb drops down to P13 and out of the points, but the penalties he's got, unfortunately, that's going to make him plummet a bit further as Brabbit gets re-overtaken and KXI retakes P2. McConey is still P4, waiting for that opportunity to strike. I wouldn't count him out. I'd say, you know what, let him cook. We have got just only a few laps left of this Grand Prix as Cami has gone in for a fresh set of softs. He hasn't got much ERS left to assist him in this, but You never say never. If there's a late game safety car now, you could be on for something. And there's a bit of a battle still going on between Strauss and Cole Paradox. Remember, in CRL, we award points all the way down to P12. There's a yellow flag in Sector 3, and I can only be assumed that is for the Aston Martin. He has come in and he has called it a day. Indian Jesus, the second of our retirees of the evening. Anyway, moving on, we've got Hargreaves in first, KXI in second, and Brabbitt in third. They are current podium standards, as Staban also picks up another time second penalty. Can Brabbitt now get repast KXI? And will McConey attempt to try and get round as well? It's a good little battle on this front bit. Hargreaves has already ridden off into the distance. He has had a perfect day so far, Hargreaves. He got pole position. I believe he's currently got fastest. No, I don't think he has got fastest lap. We'll have to have a look at that in a moment, as there is some battling going on now. Let's go and take a look. So 4 Stars by himself, Panda's by himself, Span's by himself. Strauss is having a small battle with Cole Paradox. They're keeping each other company. There's a bit of a battle going on in turn 1 between a AlphaTauri, a McLaren and a Red Bull. Our returning driver, Wee Cammy, is coming up quite nicely in P16. He's currently out in points, but then again, like I said, he's been away from the game for a year, so it's good to have him back on track, to be fair. We've missed having him on track, so it is good to see our returning driver. And then the other McLaren of Mick, currently in P17. But the real battle at the moment going on is currently P2 all the way down to P6. So let's stick on board with these guys for a little bit, as we're now back into that battle zone, which is the starting straight, as Brabbitt will be looking to attempt to get the move done again. McConey's keeping him company as well. Brabbitt's trying to get the move done. They are going 3 wide as McConey goes for the double overtake and takes P2. What a move. Brabbitt up to P3 and KXI drops down to P4. What a move and what an overtake from McConey. Lovely done, and we caught it on stream as well. Right then, I did say we were going to try and find out who's got the fastest lap at the moment. Fastest lap is currently Indian Jesus with 124, but he is currently out of this Grand Prix, so that's not going to really do him a lot of favours. Let's see if there's still anyone left picked, shall we? Nope, all our drivers have completed their mandatory pit stop. It's been a good race, it's been good battling, I've loved every single second of it, and I'm hoping every single person that's been watching, I hope you've enjoyed it. It's not often I do comms by myself, so I tell you what, I hope I've done you all at least a satisfying job. I hope you've had something to listen to and enjoy for the past, well, what is hour now, as we just approached that hour mark. We only have 6 laps left of this Grand Prix as Hargreaves crosses the line to start lap 24. There is now a battle between Brabbitt and McConey. McConey has put a little gap on Brabbitt. Brabbitt will be looking to try and get the move done again, as Crack attempts to get the move done on KXI and doesn't. But he does get it done on War Daddy, as War Daddy goes, no, P5 is mine, as Crack goes off track limits there and gains an advantage. I kind of think he might have to see, picks up another penalty, but I think Crack may have come off limits and gained position unfairly there. Maybe one for the stewards to look into. Maybe War Daddy will report to the stewards. Obviously the stewards office is open, boys, for anyone that is watching in the background. Make sure you get reporting any foul play you potentially see. Let's show the mid-pack drivers a bit of love, shall we? There's Panda, there's Staban. Strauss and Cole Paradox are still having a nice little battle between themselves. They're in their own race. Sieb with his penalties. Let's see how many penalties. 18 seconds worth of penalties to be precise. And then you've got 3-4 who's
for being too fast.
who's trying to catch back up. I mean, technically speaking, 3-4 is in the points as it stands, so he'll be picking up a point. Then you've got DC, Wee-Kami, Clark, and Nick. Right then, we're back on our starting straight battle again as we get underway with lap 25. The battle for P2 is still very, very much alive. McConey out in front, Brabbitt, Coney out in front, Hargreaves out in front. Then you got McConey, then you got Brabbitt as our podium standards, and then you've got KXI desperately trying to catch up. It's been good battling between P2 to P6, to be fair. It's been very, very entertaining. Speaking of which, keeping you entertained, the Tier 2 boys are definitely underway at this point. They'll probably be in their race as it stands. And the Tier 1 boys, they are underway for qualifying. Obviously, after this session has wrapped up, go and show the Tier 2 boys some love. And when their session is wrapped up, go and show the Tier 1 boys some love. And then that will be it for the fourth round, which will be Saban's picking up another penalty again, which will be Qatar. Let's see if we can find out where we're heading to next. Well, I do believe. Let's have a look, see. So, on the calendar next, we have got China. Now, last season, I had a bit of an internet connection, and it took me out of the Grand Prix before we even got started, so hopefully I can make up in China. But what will these boys be able to do in China? Well, there's only one way to find out. You're going to have to come back here at the same time next week as our championship continues. After China, we have got Montreal, then we have got Spain, Abu Dhabi, and Silverstone. Unfortunately, I will not be with you for the Abu Dhabi comms and potentially the Silverstone comms as well. Then I'll be back for one of my favourite tracks, that is Miami, Imola, as we then wrap up the championship in Sao Paulo, Brazil. Hopefully we've got a championship battle right the way to the very end. There's nothing better than a last race battle. Well, McConey has now increased that lead nearly by a second on Brabbitt, but there's still 3.5 laps left to go. Anything can change. We've had one safety car this evening, and it kind of changed everything up. Let's take a look. Seed has picked up yet again another time second penalty as Wee-Kami gets past. This is the view from obviously in the back of the Seed's car, as he's having a bit of a battle with, no, it's Real DC, which is it, having a bit of a battle. Real DC gets past Wee-Kami as Wee-Kami picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple infringements. And Strauss getting past Cole Paradox at long last. Their battle is still going alive for P10. Now moving a bit further up the grid, Steban's in a league of his own as he has a bit of a Sunday drive. Panda in a similar situation. He's trying to catch up to 4-star. C picks up a 5-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. It's just going from bad to worse. I want to know how many penalties he's got now. Let's take a look, shall we? He's on 26 seconds worth of penalties. The man is committing penalties left, right and centre. As he comes in for a set of softs, no doubt to go for the fastest lap and try and take that from Indian Jesus. Right, and the battle for P2 is warming up all the way from P2 all the way down to P6. And then we've got Mr. Hargreaves, who is definitely having a Sunday drive. We'll check back in with him later on as we jump back on board with McConey and Brabbitt. Brabbitt only just in that DRS detection zone. He'll be trying to use that to catch up to McConey. But 17 lap mediums versus 17 lap holds. Those mediums must be screaming at this point. The hards will be in that comfort zone. Hopefully Brabbitt can maybe get round and keep things going all the way as we are now into our final 2 laps of the race. And I hope I have kept you entertained throughout the entirety of this Grand Prix of being solo comms. Next week, Mr. AFL will be back with me in China And hopefully we can bring you just as exciting Grand Prix as this one. They're very similar, these tracks. They're very curvy and very bendy, but there is more DRS zones than just the one in China. Yeah, let's take a look. So Crack has come to join the battle for P6, and Kami loses 2 positions there and plummets down to P15. Well then, let's also take
on the last lap for those mediums.
Could possibly be maybe a puncture. You never know. But the battle for P2 is where it is currently at. But McConey has done enough to get outside of that DRS detection zone, so it could now be the battle for P3 as we head over into the last lap of the race. Esteban picks up another 3-second time penalty. Like Steve, they have been committing penalties left, right and centre. He is a little bit, but we are on the last lap. Has Hargreaves done enough? Well, we'll soon find out as Steve picks up another time-second penalty. As it is the battle between KXI, sneakily steals third. Brabbit, that podium has been taken from him on the last lap. Can he catch up? As War Daddy is looking to make the move on Brabbit. We have got a last lap battle royale as Brabbit will be looking to try and retake that podium. KXI's got past. I think that the mediums have been out that one lap too much as the hard runners look to make it by. War Daddy's trying to get by. Crack's trying to join into the grap as well. This is going to be a very, very entertaining lap as we go into the last lap of the race. We are halfway through it. Hargreaves is leading quite comfortably, but that time is coming down to McConey. Can McConey do enough to catch up to Hargreaves? KXI is looking to try and catch up on McConey, and Brabbit will be desperately trying to keep War Daddy back as he tries to hunt down KXI to retake that last podium position. The front 4 don't have penalties. If they cross the line as it is, they will be up. As it's a spin from, what's happened on the last lap? War Daddy and Brabbit pushing too hard as Crack goes up to P4. That will be needing looking into, but it can only be won by one driver. Hargreaves, with the perfect day, wins the first Tier 3 Qatar Grand Prix. McConey in second, and KXI comes in third. Crack in fourth, 4-star in fifth, Brabbit P6, Panda P7, Strauss P8, War Daddy P9, Cole Paradox P10, Esteban P11, 3-4 will be the last of our point runners, I believe. Depends how many penalties he has got between him and Clark. He's got no overtake left. He crosses the line P12. But unfortunately, those penalties pushes him out of the points as Clark takes P12. So 3-4's P13, DC P14, Mick P15, Cammy P16, and Seeb will be the last of our line crossers with a horrendous amount of penalties and take P17. He's crawling to the line. What's he doing? Come on, mate, cross the line. Oh, he's putting on some donuts for us. What we want to see. I think he's going to reverse across the line, actually. He's showboating at his best. And that will be your first ever Tier 3 Qatar Grand Prix. CRL 34 picking up your in-game driver of the day. Remember that the actual driver of the game section of the Cone Racing League Discord is now open. So go ahead and cast your votes. Who do you feel deserved driver of the day? Hopefully the boys watching will be up for a bit of a post-race interview. What a Grand Prix that was. So, just to round things off, it's Hargreaves, McConey and KXI as our podium sitters. Then we've got Crack, 4-star, Brabbit, Panda, Strauss, War Daddy, Cole Paradox, Staban, Clark, Freethought, Rio DC, Mick, Wee Cammy with his return, Staban, Steve, Indian Jesus, not Jack. What a Grand Prix. I enjoyed every single second of that. Hopefully we can get some of the boys in for a interview. McConey and Hargreaves have accepted. So let's get them in, shall we? So it could be a bit of radio silence here now. So the invites are out, so we'll just wait for our podium standards. Apologies for the radio silence there if there was any. Obviously normally the co-host would invite them in, but it is just this evening. We have the first of our podium standards. It's been a perfect weekend. He went pole and he went to the win. It is Mr. Hargreaves. Mate, amazing day. Talk us through it.
Oh my god, my heart at the end, my tyres were on 81%, I thought they were going to go boom. I was just thinking there's no way these are making it to the end. Because my first thought was, I'm going to do a two-stop, I'm going to push these tyres to the absolute maximum box, like 8 laps left. Then I saw Brabbitt was staying out and thinking, oh, I'm going to have to finish on these tyres. So I had dead tyres for 7 laps. I was terrified McConey was going to get me. He gained like 8 seconds in 4 laps, but I managed to get it just to the end.
No, you did really, really well. We did notice that your tyres were going towards the end of that race. But in the words of Max, that must have been simply lovely, that race. You didn't really have anyone battling you there. You just sort of went for a Sunday drive.
Yeah, no, it was lovely. It felt amazing just to have that pace that I didn't have at Australia. Even I was up there, but I didn't feel as comfortable as I did today. Like, this is one of my best tracks on the game. I just felt so comfortable that I was always going to bring home the win.
It is a nice track, to be fair. I've loved every second practicing around it, and obviously you are an exclusive club, so far one of 3 drivers that have won the first ever CRL Qatar Grand Prix. No one can take that from you, bud, and you made it look so easy. But we've got to turn our attention to the future. China. We head over to Shanghai. So how are we feeling about China next week?
Well, I liked it on the last game, so I'll have to give it a few laps in time trial, but I'd say cautiously optimistic. I hope if I can get a podium, I'll be pleased.
Well, your win today will have closed the gap ever so slightly on your championship contender, right? Obviously, which is Brabbitt. Ideally, what you could have done with today, if Brabbitt hadn't finished in the points, if you had won the race, and which you had done today, and with fastest lap, you would have took lead of the championship. But how are you feeling about the remainder of the championship? Because it is going to be looking like it's going to be a good battle right to the very end.
I'm confident. If I can steer clear of incidents and just keep consistency, I think I can catch him. I wouldn't say I'm worried yet, but if I do DNF again and Brabbitt gets high points, I think it'll be a struggle. But as long as I can keep just slowly chipping at that lead, I'm pretty confident that I can catch him back.
No, I wish you all the very best in your championship battle, bud. But we must now obviously turn to the runner-up of the race, which I believe was McConey, if I'm correct, in the Alfa Romeo. Coney, did you finish P2? It was you, wasn't it?
Yeah, I did, yeah.
It was. P2, mate, what a result. I'm assuming we're going to get some lovely TikToks from you later as well.
From 4-star, yeah, but...
Oh, yeah, 4 stars, yeah, well, hopefully we've got some good clips for you, because you had some good battles on track today, to be fair.
Yeah, on that, I just hope there's no reports going in, put it that way. It was me and Crack had a little bit of a get-together. I don't know what actually happened. But...
Yeah, I noticed this, but you did have a good overtake. You went up 2 positions into turn 1 towards the back end of the race. Talk us through that, mate, because that was a brilliant overtake.
I was just sitting behind B Rabbit and KXI, just saving a little ERS, and then decided to go for it and just drained all the DRS in one go and just managed to get down the inside, so it was nice. So I tried it a couple of laps earlier and it went massively wrong, so it was good to get it right.
Well, it clearly paid off for you, bud, because you're now sitting here, you're talking to me. This is your first podium of the season, isn't it?
Yeah.
Obviously, hopefully the first of many as well for you.
Hope so. I'd say well done to George.
Thank you.
Been a bit of backwards and forwards in the DMs between me and him this week about pace and everything else. So he did actually predict me and him would get 1-2 in quali, but I always bottle it. So at least I made up for it in the race.
No, you did really, really well, mate. But hopefully you can continue this going. Obviously, as we head over next week to China, how are you feeling about Shanghai?
Hate it.
Ooh, not one of your favourites?
No, not got a good history of China at all. Hopefully it might rain, so it might spice it up a bit.
Ooh, spicy. We love our spiciness here at CRL. But, mate, honestly, enjoy it. Hopefully it's the first of many interviews that obviously we're going to have with you again this season. And then, right at the very end, it didn't look like he was going to get a podium, but he pulled it off, Mr. KXI. P3, talk us through it.
Yeah, well, firstly, congratulations, George and McConey. Good drives. But yeah, that turn one final lap overtake, probably the best I've made for probably a good year, on the F1 games. It feels really good, but yeah, holy shit, that was a macaroni of a race.
Oh, there's our first.
Some guys say.
There's our first swear. Apologies to anyone that is watching that don't like that type of language, but it's all good. No, you've earned it, mate. You've earned it. You're on podium.
Yeah, thanks.
It is a lovely track. I mean, you did have some good battling there right at the very end. To be fair, you were constantly there. You were just waiting for your moment every time. You were just there waiting to pounce. But, no, honestly, congratulations on the podium.
The qualifying was really good. I've not been so high up for a little while, but I felt good at this track in practice, and George has picked me there at the end by not a lot. And the race was never with George here. It was about keeping P2 after the first couple of laps, and then gaining some distance on the midfield and just seeing where I end up. But,
you definitely did do that, mate. You definitely did do that, and it got you on the podium. But as I've said to the other two, we must now turn our attention to next week as we head over to Shanghai. How are you feeling about China, buddy?
Yeah, not sure. I haven't raced there a whole lot. I haven't raced there on this year's game yet, but pad track in it, so
wow,
we'll see how I get on.
It's very similar to Qatar. It's got loads of curves, so it's a very twisty, bendy circuit.
Another pad track. What's going on?
Hey, I didn't make the calendar. I had no input in it. If I had my say, Vegas would have been on this calendar as well this season.
Maybe next
God,
season.
no.
Maybe next season. I even said that on stream as well. Maybe next season. But boys, honestly, can't say hopefully never. It's a good track. Just
I've not done a lap on it yet, to be fair.
Oh, go and do a time trial after this, and then you'll understand why he's saying hopefully never. But no, honestly, all three of you had such a great battle. Oh, I say Hargreaves, you had such a great battle. You had such a good Sunday drive. But honestly, boys, you did really, really well tonight, especially on a new circuit. You're in your exclusive club. You're the first CRL podium sitters in Qatar. Hopefully, obviously, it'll be back on the calendar because a lot of people do seem to enjoy this track. So hopefully it's one that does stick around. Right then, for everyone that is watching at home, we are going to end the stream there. Normally, like I said, it would be me and AFL, but AFL is off celebrating his birthday. So once again, AFL, happy birthday from everybody at CRL, and we'll have you back here in the comms booth with me next week. Next week will be China, where anything can happen as this championship is heating up with each round. As always, I've been your host, CRL Spider 95, and I will see you same time next week in China.